Rise and shine, beautiful beings. First of all, welcome to part one of my Rise into Royalty series. I wanted to do this series so I could help bring us back into alignment with our mission and our purpose. Divorce is at an all-time high. It seems that it's hard for us to navigate and maintain healthy relationships. And it seems that it's getting harder for us to understand each other as men and women. So I wanted to go in and talk about some of these issues, some of these misunderstandings, and see if I could clear them up. I'm poly. I have 2 wives. I'm very happy. I've managed to manifest a reality for myself with my 2 queens in a world where divorce is at an all-time high, and many people have been asking me about it. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about this, okay? I've noticed that men and women alike are trying to manifest their realities, and when doing so, they recognize a lot of toxic traits or seemingly toxic traits in men and women in their peers while they're dating. You see a lot of people take to Instagram, YouTube, social media, whatnot, and talk about the issues that they see. It almost seems like people complaining about all women are bad so they can get women to dance to beat of their own drum, or that all men are bad so they can do the same thing. I want you guys to know you don't have to do that. In order to manifest the reality that you want, you don't need to be mad at anyone or upset at any gender. You need to focus on you and what you want to create. There is someone out there who's suited for you, okay? And don't stop till you manifest that. But I do want to deal with some of the blatant differences between men and women and the misunderstandings we have, okay? So first of all, let me deal with the misunderstanding towards men as far as them being dogs and how they should adhere to the same body count standards as women. Firstly, let me explain something. If you take away social standards that was given to us by men in our society and go back to us as a natural being and look at other animals in the world, look at how they work. As a man, you are biologically engineered to procreate, okay? Your DNA wants to replicate. It does, okay? So when your puberty kicks in, this is what's happening to you. These are the feelings that a man is feeling. His body is saying, I want to procreate. And so this equals sex. That's what that looks like, okay, family? Now, we have a world that tells us how we should pursue that and what relationships should look like. But if you take away that world, what happens is a man wants to have a child. A man would grow up learning to protect, learning to hunt, just like a lion. So he can one day manifest his tribe. What is his tribe? The women who bore his child. He will have a social contract to protect the women and his children. The woman, okay, she's gonna choose the male who is the most fit to protect her in life, okay? This is how it would look in a world that doesn't have a social standard created by men in the matrix, okay? Now, why does the woman need a man to protect her? The woman is physically weaker than that man. While the woman is pregnant, she's even more vulnerable. And when she has this small infant, she's even more vulnerable. So she would need this man to protect her from any dangers that may come her way or her child's way. Now, why would the man want to do this? Because that's his child, okay? That's his future self. Men have a motivation to conquer. And this motivation can be to be the fastest man in the world, to be the strongest man in the world, to accomplish great feats. Most of the time, this is to please a woman, to make a woman happy. So please understand that a man's purpose in life is to find a woman, procreate, and maintain his family, whether that be protecting for him with resources and whatnot. Now, because a man goes into a relationship, his biological needs don't turn off, family. He still has a desire to procreate. You have to understand this. Even though he's made a social commitment to fit inside of a standardized dynamic, it doesn't change him. He's still a biological being who's trying to navigate in a new matrix, a matrix that suggests that he should now only want one woman. His body doesn't tell him that, though. So most men will feel like they're wrong when they even want to have another woman in his life, you know? Now, if a man is immature, of course, he doesn't have the resources to provide for more than one woman or more than one child. He shouldn't be out here making children. But again, if you rewind it back, being able to provide for your family wasn't money. So it was brawn. It was actually the ability to hunt, the ability to protect, okay, the ability to provide. And this could be in a man who was very young in age. If he had the abilities to provide and protect the family, he would set out looking for his queen or queens. Do you understand? Now, One of the big, now we call a man a dog if he's thinking this way. He is wrong if he's going outside of his commitments and cheating. That's wrong. But he's not wrong for feeling the feelings that he's feeling. He's not wrong for feeling the feelings that he's feeling as far as wanting to procreate or be with other women outside of the relationship. Now, one of the biggest complaints that men have for women is that they date for resources. And often, even when they find a man that's giving them those resources, you may not get their loyalty. They may not stay with you if they can find someone who can provide more and all these types of things. And we call women gold diggers when they seek out men for resources. Now, again, family, women don't have these type of motivations to go out and conquer the world and just obtain, things or whatnot. So the woman in nature, she's typically wanting to be with a man and bear genes from that man, which the strongest genes equals the strongest chance of survival, and the stronger your genetics are down the line. So she wants the best male also, and she wants him as far as resources go. Now, I want you to understand something. This doesn't make her evil, and her intent isn't even evil. I want you to look at other animals in nature, okay? When a woman's depending on you for your resources, understand she has your child. She is not as strong as you. She can't go out and build the things like you can build and hunt like you can hunt. She certainly can't do it when she's pregnant. She certainly can't do it when your child is an infant. And how long will your child be an infant? Many years. So she's going to need you and your protection and your resources for many years. She is not wrong for that. You understand? Now, the problem comes in line when you are simping. As men, we're giving women our resources early, and we wonder why it turns them off. Well, the reason it turns women off, the reason they don't respect you when you give them your resources early is the same reason you don't respect women who lay down with anybody. See, because the woman who you lay down with, you want her to see you as special, meaning not everybody can go lay down with this woman. She sees you as special, and if not everybody can lay down with her, that makes her more valuable to you because now you trust sharing your seed with her because you know that's going to be your seed. You can trust her. Right? So she becomes a prize the less she gives herself up. Well, you become a prize the less you give your resources up. See, if you're so quick to give a woman your things, you just met her, now you want to buy her stuff and give her all these things without her earning it, you seem low value. She would begin to think, is this how he moves? He does this for everybody. Why would she feel special? And if you're doing this so quickly, imagine if she says, okay, I want to be with you. She gives you a child, meaning now she's tied to you for many, many years. And now here you are meeting someone else and you're giving them all your resources. So weren't you going to have a legacy with her? You already gave her a child that is now your legacy, that is now your wife. Because you gave her a child, now we jump the broom. Now we go get married and get paperwork. So that's what marriage is. But back then, giving a woman a baby, that was your contract. That was your commitment to her that you were going to be married to her, which means protect her and provide for her. Now, a man can take on as many queens as he can protect and provide for. Now, that looks like money. Then that looked like abilities. You see, so when a woman is liking a man for his abilities and his brawn, she's actually doing this by a biological need, not an intentful need or evil need with agency. When a man is looking at a woman for her curves, this is a biological need. All these are indicators of health. You understand, family? So I just wanted you guys to kind of understand that when a man says he wants you to have a low body count and how you lose value if you have a low body count, I want you guys to understand if you are married to that man, he gives you a child. Okay, he's likely going to give you more children, and if he can't trust you to be loyal to him, meaning you have a high body count, then why would he commit to you and give you a child if he has to worry about what other children you bring him? Now go back, there weren't DNA tests. So a man would have to know that he can trust somebody before he would truly marry them in that way, marry himself to them, forge a life with them in that way. And ladies, you would want to know that a king is trustworthy to continue to protect you, continue to provide for you, even if he falls out of lust for you, even if he doesn't lust for you the same way he used to, wanting to sleep with you as much as he did, he still should honor his commitments. Even if the relationship doesn't last, he still should provide for you and your child because that's the commitment, right? Now, I want you guys to understand that when we look at this and we demonize each other for how we think and how we move, but this causes us to kind of hate each other. We want each other to change, and we don't understand that what we're trying to do is get each other to adhere to a social system. And that fight, we're constantly in contention with who we are biologically. So for me as a king, I said, how can I manifest my reality knowing who I am biologically? Okay. I told my wife, I told my wives what it was I wanted to manifest. I told them exactly how I wanted to do it. Okay. And I negotiated my reality. They negotiated with me and we forged our reality. You understand? You can still do that, family. I know it's kings. I know it's a lot of women out here that don't seem to know what they want, that do seem to use. Ladies, I know it's a lot of men out here who are exactly the same. But I want you to know you don't have to be mad at all of us as men. Kings, don't be mad at all women. There are good men and women out there. The kicker is knowing who you are and what it is you're trying to manifest, okay? Once you realize that, you have clear goals in mind, and you can kind of manifest that and find the person that you want to manifest that reality with. You understand? So that's part one, okay, from rising to royalty. I believe that if we operate like low value people or low vibrational people, men will go sleep with whoever they want, have children all over the place, not understanding that that is serious. Having sex with someone is a very sacred act. Because you can bring a baby through that, she wouldn't give it to you unless she knew that you were capable of being a father and a protector to her. Now we have birth control and we have condoms and we have all these different things, so we can have sex more casually without thinking about the seriousness of it. But if you take away all of that, why would you lay down with a man who you don't feel like would protect you? And why would you lay down with a woman who's clearly showing you non-submissive traits? Why would you? And if we really took that type of mentality back onto us now, we would have healthier families. You understand? Sleeping with people with low character is not good. So for all of you ladies who say, well, Kevin, you're just saying men should be able to go around and sleep with anybody. No, I'm not. I'm saying that we as men shouldn't lie down with and have children with women if we cannot protect the woman and the child for the full term until the child is an adult. If you having a child, you are committing to taking care of both of them. This is what it would look like in reality, family, without the matrix. A woman couldn't just call the cops for them to protect her. She had to have that man there. If another man showed up to bother her, do something to her, and another man wasn't there, the children can't necessarily help her, and the children are likely going to be in danger as well, so she would need a male there. You understand? And so now we have a world where, you can go to the government for assistance to help you with your children, and if someone was to show up at your home, you could just call the police. So you don't see a need for a man like you would see it a long time ago. But again, what the world is providing for us, it isn't something that makes us better in the long run if it means we're stepping away from family and understanding the true value that we bring one another, okay? So just because the world provides you police officers to protect you if you're in danger, just because the world provides you aid to help you with your child, does not mean you don't need a man. And the crazy thing is, you'll understand this later on when your child reaches adulthood and now your legacy doesn't have the tools they need to create a future for their children, a healthy one. And what you're going to see is the cycle continue, because it seems that we have too much pride to break the cycle. Most of us seem to be so focused on being happy rather than continuing our legacy. See, if a man sets out and says, this is the woman I'm going to marry, I'm going to have a child with her, I'm going to protect her. If he desires another woman and says, I don't love her no more, I'm just going to leave my children and go with this other family, he just left his whole legacy. Your children were here for you to leave an inheritance to them, but you ran off to chase love, and now you're squandering other resources that are now not going to go to your legacy. So your mission is being burned up and you don't even know it. Your purpose for having these children, whether you purposed it or not, you might have had children before you were mature enough to understand what they were, but they are your future selves. They are your key to getting into the future. And if you don't make them your sole focus, you're going to fail your children. And 100 years from now, we're not going to look back, we won't be here, but 100 years from now, it's going to be clear whether we chased selfish desires that don't last long, like love and happiness, or if we were faithful to continue our mission to leave an inheritance to our legacy, to teach integrity to our legacy. Because as long as we live in this world where we're married, as long as we're happy, but if I don't like you no more, if I am not happy anymore, which is a feeling that can come and go, I can go start another family and just say, hey, that's just one family out there, my children out there, that relationship didn't work, I got a new one. What's that gonna look like in 100 years? Okay, so we're not really moving like kings and queens, and that's why I call this series Rising to Royalty. If you think like a king, if you think like a queen, you know you can't just chuck these relationships to the side, okay? A king honors his commitments. If you have a child, you raise your child. You provide resources to the woman and protection to the woman. That's the mother of your child. And how many ever queens you have, you do this, kings. Women, if you take a king into your life and you say, hey, I want to be your wife, meaning I want to have a child with you, I want your DNA, I want to bear your children, then you should be willing to support that king so he can provide as many resources as possible. If you are creating problems for this man, okay, and now he's depressed, he's confused, and he's not motivated, and he can't create like he was and manifest like he was, that's also going to bleed into his legacy. He's not going to be able to protect you, provide for you as well as he could, because he's not going to have the energy, family. Notice how the female lionesses let the lion eat first so he can have the energy to protect. You know, sure, there might be some lionesses who say, why can't we eat first? We did the hunting. And the lion could say, well, you can eat second, because once you've killed the animal, made the kill, there'll be food left over for you, and there'll be other days to hunt. But if I'm weak and someone shows up to take this very meal from you, they'll succeed, or they'll be more likely to succeed. And if it's a male lion and he kills me, those lionesses are now out here dry with no king to protect them and their cubs. And if a lion was to pursue them, he would kill their cubs before he makes them their queen. So what queen would want to be out here as a single parent, because that meant that you are risking the life of your child to not have a king protecting them. Now, because we don't have that reality, we're quick to leave these relationships and be out here single without our children, because we don't understand the value in it. And that's why I say we got to rise to royalty and see life as kings, you understand, and queens. This is video 1. All right, stay tuned, family. We'll keep building on these series. If you have any questions, please let me know. Get in the comments, family. Tell me how you feel about what I said. Tell me if I brought you guys understanding or whatever. Also, I offer mentorship to men and women to help them manifest their realities. I help men and women manifest their poly relationships, tribal relationships, or just monogamy. My goal is to try to help us to understand that we can manifest whatever reality we want as long as we are willing to make adjustments, okay? Don't demonize people. Understand people. Try to understand how they move and why they move that way. Because men and women are genetically different, we navigate the world genetically different. You'll notice when a man typically doesn't like someone, they confront them, or they're more apt to do acts of violence. When a woman doesn't like someone, she's more apt to do public shaming or even private shaming, creating rumors. Because she's not as strong, she has a different way, a different tactic about going about how she would assault someone she doesn't like. You understand now? Keep in mind, because men are typically stronger, we use our strength, and women are typically weaker, they use their mentality, they use psychological warfare. This makes us very different in how we navigate the world, okay? Because we have certain strengths and weaknesses that we lean to. Understanding how to make these relationships work is everything, family. We are the yin and yang to each other, and we got to get out of this mentality that we do not need each other. We do need each other. Without each other, we wouldn't survive. And we have to have that understanding, family, all right? And my goal is to help us get that understanding as these videos continue. Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it's in that chaos that you find yourself. Put your own crown on, family. Crown yourself. Walk in it. Walk it just like you talk it, all right? Crown yourself and walk it like you talk it. Peace.